to kick the football?
I'm not falling for that again.
Oh, come on. It's a huge honor to kick off the football at the Thanksgiving Day game.
All right, I guess you're right. No tricks this time.
I promise.
Whoa! Ah!
This week, PNN decided we're going to do a quick snippet about what the teachers have planned for Thanksgiving.
What are you thankful for?
This year I am definitely most thankful for all the smiling faces I see in the hallway, or don't get to see behind masks, but at least for my students here.
I'm thankful to be in a community where I'm loved and people like being around me and they like coming in. And it gives me a place to be and a home to be, and so you guys are my home. And I'm thankful for all you guys.
What are you thankful for?
I am thankful for the wonderful family that I have with my wife, Mrs. Staley, and two kids who have made me very proud. And of course, I'm also very thankful to be teaching in a great district like Cardington with all the great students we have here.
I'm thankful for my family, my health, especially during this time of the pandemic.
What are you thankful for?
I am thankful that when my son got into a vehicular crash recently, he was driving the BMW and not the Miata, because he would have died if he was in the Miata.
Hello and welcome to PNN Bakes. This week, since it's almost Thanksgiving, we're going to be making a pumpkin pie. Now, to start a pumpkin pie, the first thing you need is the crust. Now, the crust is going to consist of 1 1/4 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 stick or half pound of butter. Now, you take your flour and your salt, you mix that together, you take your butter, cut into cubes, put it in your bowl with your salt and your flour, and then you're going to take a pastry cutter like this and mix it together until it forms small pea-sized pieces. Now, once you have small pea-sized pieces, you're going to take 2 tablespoons of buttermilk, mix that in. Next, we're going to take half a teaspoon of vinegar and add that to our bowl. Now that we've formed our dough into a compact disc, wrapped it in saran wrap, and stuck it in the fridge, it's time to make our pie filling. To start, we're going to need 8 ounces of cream cheese, which we're going to drop in a bowl here, and we are going to mix this up for 5 minutes until it's nice and creamy. Next, we're going to add 1 15-ounce can of pureed pumpkin, and we're going to mix that for about 5 more minutes. Alright, now that we've mixed our pumpkin in, we're going to add 1/2 cup or 1 stick of butter. Make sure it's melted. And 2 to 3 tablespoons of vanilla. And we're going to mix that for another minute. Next, we're going to add 3 eggs, one at a time, and make sure you mix well after each egg is added. Next, we're going to take 3 1/4 cups of powdered sugar and add that in very carefully so as to not make a mess. Finally, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to mix that well. Now that we have our pie filling done and we've taken our dough out of the fridge, it's time to roll the dough out. So you're going to want either pastry board or a cookie sheet. Flour that, set your dough down, sprinkle a little flour on top, and flour your rolling pin, and make sure you have more flour on hand because it's going to get a little sticky. Alright, now that we've transferred our dough into our pie pan, it's time to put in the filling. So we're just going to pour this in real quick. Now we're going to put it in an oven that's been preheated to 400 degrees for 15 minutes. At the 15-minute mark, we're going to lower the temperature to 350 degrees and bake it for another 42 to 48 minutes.
Alright guys, today we're doing a new special today on PNN. It is called Food Review. Our first review is going to be at Cane's here. Ryan and I decided this would be like a nice way to start. It's kind of like maybe a little like bigger type of food chain. And we just decided we wanted to eat some chicken fingers today. Ryan is going to get a box combo and so am I. We'll check it out once we get our food.
Food review.
We got our Canes. We should just eat.
Probably. Yeah. So we each got a boxed meal. So start off with food. Here is the boxed meal that we got.
The presentation's very nice. Like it's all like kind of all there. You see what you're getting. The boxes, they're pretty sturdy, nice boxes. I mean,
they have nice little designs on them.
It gives you kind of that like fair food vibe type thing. Yeah, like,
and I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah,
it doesn't really cheapen it. All right, so I think first off, we're going to go with the first item. We're going to go with the toast, which is the most heralded item. Here we go, first bite of the Texas toast.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah. It doesn't feel like it's dipped in butter. It feels like it's like toasted with butter.
Yeah, almost like that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's toasted with butter.
Quick aside about the sauce. I don't think we're going to grade the sauce on its own. But the sauce is basically like if you took ranch and mixed it with like honey mustard with a hint of barbecue, I think is probably the best way to describe it. All right, so toast out of 5.
4. I give it a 4. 4.5 even.
I'll give it a 4.5. I don't think, the only thing I think is that sometimes, because of its soft nature, it tastes a little, it has a little bit of like, I don't know, like dampness. You know what I'm saying? Like when you find a wet piece of bread, kind of like that. On the topic of me drinking my sweet tea, as far as sweet tea goes, they have the best probably sweet tea of any restaurant. It's very sweet, but not too sweet.
Yeah, like McDonald's is probably comes in second, but theirs is way too sweet.
Yep,
like too much sugar. This one's kind of perfect balance. I'd probably give it a 5 out of 5.
I'd give the tea a 5 out of 5. I think they have the best fast food sweet tea. All right, so now we're gonna move over. Do we want to do the coleslaw?
Sure. Do you like coleslaw?
I'm not a big coleslaw guy.
You're not a coleslaw fan? I love coleslaw.
So they better impress me because I'm not a huge coleslaw dude. As far as coleslaw goes, it's probably some of the best I've had, but I'm not a big coleslaw guy. So I feel like you should grade the coleslaw.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5 because I'm sure like some homemade coleslaw probably tastes a little better, but like it's pretty good
as far as fast food.
Yeah, for getting it in what 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're going to the big dogs. The fries. Now, as you see, the fries, they go more wavy fries. I have ketchup I will dip it in, and I will also dip it in the signature Cane's sauce. They kind of taste like the fries you'd buy from a freezer. And then put them in the oven.
Yeah.
But like high end. That's really the best way to describe.
They bought them from a high end Kroger.
Yeah. I don't think these are the best fries in fast food, but they're definitely one of the better ones. I think these are probably top. So I'm going to give them, I'll give them a 4.
I'll agree with you on that. I think they're about a 4.
Not a lot of flavor unless you dip it in something. But
I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah. They expect people to dip it in their sauce.
Their cane sauce or their ketchup.
We're on to the main course, even though that most people just talk about the toast. And that is what they're actually supposed to be known for, which is the chicken fingers.
It's quite delicious.
It's got a nice Once again, I think this tastes like really high-end freezer chicken tenders. If you want like classic, what you think of chicken tenders,
Yeah.
this is it. But I think there's a cap to that.
I like I said earlier, I feel like it's like kind of like fair food almost.
Yeah.
Like fair food, fast food. Like
Mhm.
this is something you'd get at a fair. This is more all about just like the meal. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
you
true,
go and
too.
buy a meal. I mean, even on the menu, you don't really buy individual things. You buy a meal and then you eat that.
Yeah, the chicken is not what it's there for. It's there for everything with the chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I think a 4 or 3.5 is about right. Would you say 4?
3.5. I'll go with you on the 3.5.
3.5.
It's not the best I've had.
It's not the
Not
best,
worst.
but it's above average. As far as service goes, it was extremely just satisfactory. Nothing really went wrong, but it wasn't extremely quick. We did wait a bit, so I think like a 4.
4.5. Yeah,
4.5
pretty,
is
pretty
right.
good service.
As far as presentation, I think they do a nice job with the boxes, like we discussed. Everything is packaged very nicely, and they give you boxes, which I always prefer over just putting stuff in bags.
Yeah, and like wrapping them in the wax paper like most burger joints do. Yeah, I don't like that. I like how it's all just here.
It's not very greasy.
Yeah.
There's not there's no pools of grease. So I would give them probably another 4.5 for presentation, maybe even a 5, because I guess a 5 would be, it looks like amazing, and when you do open up the box, sometimes it kind of looks a little crammed in there. So I give it a 4.5. I don't think it's perfect presentation, but I think it's solid. So Noah will now average up what everything is.
Yeah, and we'll see it right here is our score for Cane's.
And that is the end of food review. We'll get out the drinks, which are now
completely empty.
This is the end of food review.
Food review, yep.
And we will see you all next time.